Call this meeting order. Our work session from Monday, January the 8th, 3:30. And before we start, I'm asking Mr. Burst if he would lead us in prayer.
Yes, Father, we thank you, Lord, in the name of our Son, Jesus Christ, Lord, for this day. We pray, God, you will bless us as we deliberate the business of this county. Pray, God, you let each and every decision that we make be done with thee in mind, oh God. We thank you, oh God, for blessing us to see this new year, oh God, and we pray that you will just be with us throughout this year, as you are with us every day. And Father, we just ask that you will continue to bless us in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good to see you, please. Agenda item. We're gonna have a guest speaker to.
Well, we had Ms. Jamie Rich to sign up. I don't know that she's here. It may be the 5 o'clock meeting that she's planning on attending.
Jamie McQueen.
Yes, sir. But
Is she
she's
here?
not here. I don't know, sir. I don't believe she is. I think it may be she's planning on being here at 5. I'm
She'll
assuming.
come in at 5, okay.
Yes, sir.
We will hold it at 5 then, okay. We'll move on to the agenda items. The banking service proposal acceptance.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, we advertised for banking services proposals back in November, and with all that was submitted, I believe we had 2, is that right, correct? We had 2 to submit, and the one that we're recommending is Ameris Bank. They were the ones that submitted a complete proposal, and we have some representatives here to speak to that proposal, excuse me, if they would like to make a comment or two.
We have someone here from Ameris, and would they come on up? Yeah.
Good afternoon.
That's me.
My name is Brad Morris. I'm the city president for Camden County, Ware County, and here with Ameris, and then Kristen Landrum. She is our market branch manager here, and Carrie Hutner is our treasury management officer for the area.
Okay.
Scott, how much money and how many funds will we save by making a change? The change is a big change.
Well, it's, if I'm not mistaken, it has a lot to do with the rates that we'll get, the fees. That's primarily the gist of it. And also too, we haven't submitted a proposal or advertised since I've been here. I've been here 8 years. And so with what we submitted, this is what we've come up with. I mean, what was submitted, excuse me, is this is what we're recommending.
So Ameris Bank's menu is overall less expense to us than the other
That's
banks?
correct. Yes, sir.
And a little more interest than what we're drawing now.
What's it gonna cost to transfer everything over to it, new checks or stuff like that?
We use computer paper checks, so we don't have printed up checks or anything that we're gonna throw away and redo. We'll just have to go in the system and change on our side and change all of our stuff. And change any ACHs with the vendors that we have that we deal like that. The only thing I think that we may have to pay for is jury checks. And she's doing the cards now, so she's writing very minimal jury checks.
I mean, you won't be paying for that either. So,
Yeah, we provide the complimentary starter checks as well as deposit tickets to get everything transitioned over. So no cost there.
Yeah, and we have been paying for deposit slips and a few other things, because when we get on the phone to our banking service now, you either gotta talk to someone in Brunswick or someone in Atlanta. And if they fix your problem, yay. If they don't, you're just out of luck. I mean, it's really a hit and miss thing. They didn't even turn in a proposal. And they knew, they had plenty of time, but someone dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Did our local bank, submit one, Waycross Bank and Trust? We just moved a bunch of money over
Yeah.
there.
What's the guy's name?
Russell Bates.
He informed me, because I called and asked him, I said, we haven't received one, and he said that they couldn't offer us everything we was requesting in our RFP. And everything we was requesting in our RFP, we are currently using now. So we need what we already have, and if we can get anything better, cool, but we need to do business like we're doing it now. And he said they didn't have the technology to offer us everything we requested. But give them time, they were upgrading.
I did speak with him, and he said it'd be at least a couple of years. And they would, when we go back out, they'd submit something.
Okay.
And we bank a lot in the whole region with, as far as counties, all the cities, City of St. Mary, City of Kingsland, City of Woodbine, Camden County Schools, Southeast Georgia Health Systems. So we're well equipped to work with large entities, you know, for, this type of business.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman. Yeah, first of all, I would like to, I guess, give kudos to Beverly and her team, whoever was responsible for getting this RFP out. Matter of fact, I read it twice, to go back through it and make sure, even though I didn't understand everything in it, I did get a pretty good grip on it. But, a few of the things that I highlighted was that, you know, they're gonna have a dedicated team pretty much assigned. I thought that was very important, you know, to have someone that you can go to. And so that was one of the things they had, have a dedicated team relationship, consists of a manager, treasurer, management, representative. And another thing, they said that they're not only just gonna be the banker, but they're gonna be like our advisor for different things. And because this is a big move right here. And like I said, it's been, I think Jerry mentioned it's been a while, or somebody did, about how long it's been since we put this out, you know. So I'm definitely concerned about it, because we're dealing with taxpayers' monies, and we want to make sure we cross all our I's and cross all our T's and dot all our I's. And another thing too is that the technical support. You know, we got a dedicated team for the technical support on it. So I think it's pretty good. I mean, whoever put this RFP out, they pretty much, I think, thought of everything and covered everything in hypotheticals that could happen, you know. So I think that's very good.
Christina done much of the legwork getting this thing together, and we wanted it to be everything we're using right now, because we need everything we're using right now. So she's done a great job.
Yeah, I agree. And you tell her, I'm pretty sure the commission, you know, we appreciate, you know, because this is what we want to do. We want to be real detailed about what we're doing, you know, and not just go along and I think Jerry raised an interesting question. It's not that we just doing this just to be doing it, but, you know, and we want to make sure if we're doing it for the right reason. And if it's going to save the taxpayer money, it's going to make us more efficient, that's what we want to do it for.
We had the city of Waycross transition from Truist to us, was that 2.5 years ago? About 2.5 years ago. And that transition seemed to go very smooth.
Okay.
And
Now-
their finance director is very happy with everything.
About our accounting, they work closely with them,
With
IRS accounting,
our accountant,
accountant,
Oh, with Harrison?
yeah.
accountant.
Harrison usually doesn't deal with the banking information too much. He's only gonna come in at year end and do all of our final audit prep.
Right.
So he doesn't do a whole lot. We usually get everything in-house and give it to him.
And could you, one of y'all kind of explained, this is something I was really concerned about, and I have to say this word very slow, the collateralization of the funds. And I know you always see the sign by the FDIC insured up to a certain amount, but we're dealing with a whole lot more than that. So can you just kind of give a little, to make sure our assets are protected?
The collateralization, it works with the pledge pool for the state, and that's something, we're a part of that. Make sure that it's totally taken care of as far as, percentage, 110%, I believe.
Right.
That, as far as the details, ins and outs of that, it goes a little, as far, it goes up through the treasury world as far as what's covered with it. But I do know that's a space that we, in most of our markets with Ameris throughout Georgia specifically, we bank a lot of the counties and a lot of the cities and are definitely covered on that end.
I believe a lot of the other financial institutions such as Truist is participating in that same program today as well.
Okay, so the money will be protected?
Yes.
The assets, okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, anybody else? Okay. All righty, we'll carry it over. Thank y'all. I think I forgot to do a roll call when we came in. We need to do a roll call, back up and do a roll call for the county. I skipped that one. Let's do a roll call. Before we go any further. Mr. Burris,
Present.
Mr. Pope,
Present.
Mr. Lucas. Lucas,
Mr. Lucas is present.
okay, Mr. Barner,
President.
Chairman's here. Okay, we'll move on now. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's go to B, Resolution 2024-01, establish 2024 qualification fees for Ware County elected officials. Has these all been, everything's already been set at?
Yes, sir.
Right.
They're all based on 3% of the base salary.
3%.
This is something we do every time it's needed
Okay.
as far as elections are concerned. And this go around, we have pretty much all of the state constitutional officers on here too,
Yeah,
including the school board members. I think they have four seats that are up for election.
1, 2. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they got 4. We have 3, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any questions on that? Y'all got anything on it? Okay, let's carry it over. Okay, C, resolution of 2024-02, support for mental health bill. C. This is,
This is a resolution, Chairman, Commissioners,
okay,
urged by ACCG for adoption. I believe they gave me a call last week. It was really supposed to be due a month or so ago. And I didn't know if there was any interest, and they still have quite a few that they're trying to collect in support of the new reform and improve some of the mental health services throughout Georgia. I think you've got 1 or 2 folks here that's wanting to speak to it.
is there some changes been made in it?
There has. I do know that they were planning on making some changes, and from what ACCG told me, they're looking at actually making some additional changes. I don't know if those have been made within the last few days or not. But it was more or less to encourage, ACC just to encourage counties to adopt the resolution to show support.
I think this is gonna be brought back up in legislation whenever they resume this year.
Yes, sir, it is.
I think we need to wait to see what they find out, see what their determination is before we commit to it.
Yeah, I'll agree with Steve. There's been too many questions brought to me and verbal and written that, I can't support it right now. I'd rather, as Steve said, wait until the legislature, changes it. There's gotta be some stuff taken out before I vote for it.
Okay. Any more? Mr. Burris, you got anything on it?
No, like I said, just based on what we had here, it's basically like a resolution just to support about the mental health aspect, and I know a lot of times, like I say, you get into the minutia of it and find out, maybe it's something that maybe you don't like, but that's pretty much true on a lot of things, there may be something you don't like, but I think overall, as far as supporting mental health, I'm definitely in favor of supporting mental health, and, what it takes to address that issue with mental health. And you said this was about a month ago that we maybe should have had this?
Yes, sir, it was, I know it's at least a month ago. And at that time, there was quite a few counties that had questions. I remember seeing some emails going back in too. And so I just kind of held off to see what would shake out of the whole thing. And then they finally started calling all the counties that didn't submit one and ask if it would be up for consideration. And I said, well, I'll put it on there and then let the commissioners decide.
Okay. And, just like I said, we just got something, from Ms. Giddens, and, it's talking about, I guess, against the thing, and, like I said, the General Assembly will be starting when, tomorrow, they getting ready to go into session now. And, it's just funny how, things get a spin on it, where they say, well, okay, they might can use this to get this thing right here passed or whatever, so, like I said, maybe if we just wait and kind of see which way they're going with it, and then we can kind of decide then whether to support or not. But I just want to go on record saying I do support mental health and anything that would help people with this issues. And it's just sad that sometimes things get attached to different bills that cause the overall bill to go down, That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I agree with you, Leonard. Mental health services have not been emphasized in Georgia enough. We're in pretty bad shape with mental health service. But some of this bill here takes away, to me, some parental rights. And like you and Steve and Chairman, I would just like to see the final result before we vote on it.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
Commissioner Lucas here. I would reiterate and ditto what the other three commissioners have said, Mr. Barnard and Mr. Leonard and Mr. Pope. I would like to wait to see what the General Assembly does myself. I am a full advocate for mental health and the direction it needs to go in instead of where it's going. And like them, I'd like to go on record and say I would like to wait and see what their final product is before I put my name on it.
Okay. Thank you, Timmy. Anything else? Do we have a deadline on this thing? When it'll be
They
after
just said as
the
soon as
General Assembly
possible.
meeting, huh?
Basically, as soon as possible.
So we could,
Uh, we-
well, like I said, once we kind of see which way they're traveling with it, we can kind of,
Yes, sir.
I guess there's over 120 counties have adopted it. This
So far.
as it is.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Would you come up and talk to us about it?
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Deborah Giddens. I live in Millwood, Georgia. And so thank you for agreeing to postpone your decision on this resolution that is in support of HB 520. There are a number of constituents here in the area that will be appreciative and thankful for you not to make a decision, for you not to approve this resolution. And those constituents are the Ware County Republican Party, who voted on October 16th in favor of a resolution against HB 520. And also another group of constituents from Ware County who represent our county at the 1st Congressional District Committee, which we had a meeting on December 2nd in Brunswick. And the same resolution was presented, and all 9 of Ware County's representatives voted at that meeting and voted against the passage of HB, voted for the resolution, which is against HB 520. And at that district meeting, that resolution did pass unanimously in the 1st Congressional District.
Okay.
Your constituents that I've mentioned are for good mental health services and care for Georgia citizens. We are for that. But HB 520 has a long way to go to provide good services in the area of mental health for Georgia citizens. As it currently is written and exists, there's an overreach of the government. Parental rights are at risk and personal freedoms are at risk. So thank you for your decision today.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Giddens. Okay, is there anything else on it? Okay, let's go on. D, the right-of-way deed acceptance for Lejeune Road and Alton Circle. We brought this has been up before. I mean, we're supposed to accept this road, and I see they have the deed for it, but, y'all got anything on it? Any of y'all? Steve?
Chairman, I got a few questions about that.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, whenever this came up the first time, I was, against this, private road being turned over to the county, and for various and sundry reasons. The next thing, it was, during that time, it couldn't be defined as to who owned the road. We know it was a private road, but who the owners? So have we established who the owners are?
Well, I guess that's what the deed's for.
Yeah, that's the
they
deed.
gave us the deed to it, ain't they?
CNM, Ware County LLC.
Yeah. They,
And is that the 2 individuals that signed it?
Yes, sir.
Because when we were talking about it, it was kind of like, right then, it was like we didn't know, and they were bouncing back into, and, and I guess the only thing I'm looking at is that it's a private road that's been private for, 15, 18 years, or however long it's been.
yeah.
Okay, and the people that purchased the houses at one time, and we had to continue the people that came up here,
Yeah.
they say that they purchased the property, the houses, simply for that reason, because it was a private road. So now, the individuals are wanting to give the road to the county, and we had someone to go out and do some testing and all this kind of stuff, but our normal policy that they have to build a road to county standards before we would accept it, right?
Right.
Okay, and this road was not built to county standards, it was a private road. So now we're at this crossroads now where, okay, we accept this road, and once we accept the road, then we accept everything that goes with the road. The potholes, resurfacing, whatever. Because as the old saying, the fleas come with the dog. And so I just don't think it'd be right to go there and take this private road, the county takes it over, and then we responsible for it when we didn't have any input on how to build a road. And so that's my position on it. That's still my position on it, that I don't think that we should do that, because if we do it, then are we setting the precedent, Madam Attorney?
Well, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I did want to clarify, this is a deed that was prepared by Mr. Jim McGee's office, so my office has not done, title work on this to establish who is the owner. I'm not sure whether or not Mr. McGee's office, I'm not sure if the county manager knows whether Mr. McGee's office has or not. But, I mean, to your point, Commissioner, we have established in the past certain standards for roads, to be adopted by the county. So
Right.
this would be, and there may be an explanation for why this would be outside our normal course of business as far as what we require, but this would be outside of those standards.
Okay, and also, Madam Attorney, if, just saying that, okay, like I say, you all haven't verified if this is true owners, and we went there and we accepted, then someone come and say, no, you know, I own this road or whatever. Couldn't that put us into some kind of legal jeopardy also?
Well, like I said, it may be that Mr. McGee has actually done the title work. I mean, this is a fee simple deed, so, you know, it may be that he has done the title work, but I'm just not aware of it.
The chairman, could, Mr. Wallace come up, have some questions?
Mr. Chair, could I say something while Mr. Brandon's on the way up?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's let him talk.
I was one of the ones that come up there before I became a commissioner and gave my 2 cents on it, and I will again as a citizen, if that's okay with Madam Attorney. But I do not believe the road to be up to standards, and I actually live on the road, like Mr. Brandon does. So I will recuse myself from voting on this. But again, I will say it was established back then that Mr. Sasser and Mr. McCluskey were the owners of that road. That's who I bought the house from. That's who I bought my property from. But the road is theirs. If you look at my original deed that I've got at the house, it actually still has Dixie Ready Mix's name on it, or Dixie Road Builders. But that was what Canaan Builders bought. And that's Mike McCluskey, Canaan Builders, and Mr. Sasser was the landowner. So that property, that roadway is actually owned by them, and I feel like it's trying to be pawned off on the citizens of Ware County, which I'm now a part of trying to help save what their taxes money go on. And I can't do honestly except that road with the condition that it's in and the houses that have been built and the heavy roads and the heavy equipment that's been down that road for the last 15 years. I would say it needs to be at least redone before Ware County accepts it. Or like I made a comment before, within 3 years, we're going to be spending a pile of money to get that road brought back up to standards. Because it's going down every day with heavy equipment, and there's one way in and one way out. That's why a 3-point turnaround was put in. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir.
I've got one basic question, just from an engineering standpoint. Didn't you do or had done some soil borings on that road, and what did you find, just from strictly engineering standpoint?
There was 6 inches of base there, and I can't remember what the thickness was on the asphalt. Do you remember?
Inch and a half.
What are the current requirements on the county roadway?
6 inch with 1.5 inches.
So that's, the thickness of the base and the thickness of the asphalt of the core match what Jimbo requires, but I don't know if I really should be talking about this either, since I live out there.
So
And
if
an
that
interest
road was
party.
built today, would it meet the standards of today?
Yes, sir, according to what,
And they were supposed to build a cul-de-sac, wasn't it?
yeah, it was like a hammerhead turnaround thing,
Right.
3-point turnaround thing.
One circle, but it would
Constructed.
pull in, pull out,
Pull
back
in, pull
up.
out thing, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And Mr. KR poured all that.
That's done?
That's done, yes, sir.
Have they done everything that we asked them to do?
As far as I'm aware of, but I have a punch list. I didn't bring a copy of it with me, but there was a punch list that was, sent out. Did you see that, Jimbo?
I know they were cleaning the, last I heard, all they had left to do was clean the, dirt curb.
Ms. Schubert, could you come up to the front? We can't hear you back there. Or the clerk can.
Yeah, the last I heard the last thing they had to do, to my knowledge, was clean the, concrete curving out. And they were cleaning it out when I went and looked at the house in there.
Okay.
So let me ask, if you may, my both of you, what is our current policy right now to accept a private road, or whenever someone is going in, maybe building a subdivision, whatever, they're gonna build a road, but they got to build it to our standards, right?
Correct.
Before we will accept it. Okay, and right now, like I said, based on the boring and whatever, it meets those standards based on where they bored at.
And, you know, having us there while they're working, means a lot, because we can see what they're doing. So when you're coming out after the fact, the only way I know to check and see if it was done correctly was to take it to the board like we did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So wherever the board was, it was, at that point, it was the 6 inches and
Yes, sir.
the inch and a
I think it
half.
was actually a little bit more, but
Yeah.
you're correct, yes, sir.
And didn't Dixie Road Builders build that road as a private road?
Yes, sir, you're correct.
Because they had a dirt pit back in the back.
Yes, sir.
Did they build it to the standards?
Yes, sir. Per the cores we took.
They built it to the
And
standard.
it was, after the pits were
Right.
closed out.
Right.
The road was constructed, the pavement part was done.
And then they started subdividing the property.
Correct,
Right.
and so now, like, the traffic he's talking about, Commissioner, I'm speaking out of turn, but that's like normal house construction traffic. There's not been a bunch of dump trucks hauling asphalt
Right.
sand out of that pit like what was going on before.
Because it was dirt, then they left it dirt.
While it was a dirt road, there's not been any pit hauling or anything like that since it's been paved.
Right.
James, these holes that's in the road there, is that from a water service or something?
That's holes, I don't know.
What they got right there?
Just off where the water department cut.
Sewer cut.
Yeah,
That's
a brand new house that's just been put in, yes.
Okay. Well, that'll have to be fixed by the, Satilla Water Department. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'm pretty well satisfied that the road, according to, the report we just got, is built to our standards, but, I'm a little hesitant on approving it until our attorney can assure us that this is a legal title. I'm like Leonard, I want to make sure that we get what we're supposed to.
Yep, and,
Well, we can't go against our developers if they doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, that would be, we want growth in the county and we need some, this is
And
what we
I'm sure
need.
if Jim McGee signed off on this, right, as long as he's been in a
If it's-
lawyer.
And I'm
doing
not in
real
any
estate
way questioning
transactions.
whether he has or has not. I just know that, I just wanted the commission to understand this was not a document that my office prepared.
Right.
Right.
I mean, they do stuff every day for people all over the county, and I'm sure he wouldn't put his name on it unless it was right.
Okay, so you need to review the deed and make sure that it comes to us. I mean, that everything's okay.
It is this commission's decision, as, you give direction to staff and we'll take it and run with it how you would like us to. So
Okay.
if you would like my office to do title work to determine who we believe to be the established owner is, and then, prepare the deed, we can do that. Or if you all desire to rely on the work that Jim McGee has done, and we can maybe even communicate with his office during the break to understand if he did title work or if he just prepared the deed.
Yeah, I'd like to
Usually
see
it'll
that.
say on the bottom if not, but,
Well, I believe that's what we promised them before, was that
I understand.
if they would do this, they'd put that turnaround
Yeah,
and do that, that we'd accept it. I
we
mean,
want to make
because
sure we
it's
get
built to
good
the
title.
standards.
Can somebody make a call during
Yes,
break?
sir. Mr. Chairman, could I say something, please?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, the last time we talked about this, like I say, I was a citizen before, but the reason these questions come up was because Mr. McCluskey and Mr. Sasser was going around the neighborhood to all the people that were becoming my neighbors at that time, telling them that we were gonna be responsible for the road and not them. And I had to clear that up with my actual neighbors and tell them, that road's not ours. That road belongs to KB Builders and Mr. Sasser. It does not belong to us. Because if you look at our property deed, I'm looking at my deed right now, it stops 8 feet before the curbing. So that road is still privately owned. It does not belong to the homeowners, as the homeowners were told by Mike McCluskey and Mr. Sasser. So there was 2 people in the neighborhood that signed it out of fear, thinking they were gonna have to pay out of their pocket to have that road brought back up to standards. And that's why I'm questioning the whole thing now. What's the truth and what's a lie? Because I've been told untruth several times. That's why I would like our attorney to have her input, to satisfy our questions, since we're the governing body over the citizens of Ware County, so that's where my responsibility lies.
Okay, so, let me ask, so, Madam Attorney, so hypothetically, if it comes back that, hey, they're the owners of the property, everything is clear, and as the chairman said, that it was voted, that if they did these improvements to turn around and all that, that we would accept the road. So that wouldn't change any of that. So all in question now is whether it's not legitimate, I don't want to say legitimate, but this deed, these are the owners of the property.
I don't have a copy of the minutes of that meeting in front of me where it was approved. If that's the group's recollection.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
There it is, right there.
Then we'll
Well, I
look
tell you,
at
that
that.
clerk's right there.
That is certainly my recollection, and I'll look at the minutes and just make sure that that's what was approved. But yes, sir, I agree with what you stated. I'll glance over these real quick while we're waiting to.
Is any more on it? We'll carry it over to the regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, let me just say one other thing, and I want to just be clear. I'm all for development, we've been in the house building business and all that, but only thing I'm saying is that when you go out and you build a subdivision or whatever, you put these roads in, when you build it, that you're responsible for them.
Right.
Now, to get down the road later on and say, well, okay, now we gonna, ask the entity, whether it be the city or the county, to take them over, and as, Commissioner Lucas alluded to earlier, that, and then tell the people if something happened, then you all gonna have to pay for it. I don't think that's right. And like I said, I wasn't privy to that conversation, but, I just think that the county doesn't really need to take over the road, because it's kind of like you got a vehicle and you bought it brand new, just like that road was brand new one time, then you get 200,000 miles, then you want to give it to somebody and say, hey, you can have this right here. Well, you got a vehicle, but you got a lot of problems gonna be coming with it too.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe Jennifer will have an answer for us during the break.
Okay. Jennifer, you got anything on it yet? Wait till we.
I think what I hear from the commission is she'd like me to communicate with Mr. McGee's office and see what level of research their office did in preparation of the deed, and we will try and get in touch with them and report back.
Okay. Let's carry it over.
So you're gonna try to do that today? Or you
I will
talking-
try. I don't know if
Okay.
they, if they will be there, but I certainly will
Okay.
step out and try to do that.
Okay. Okay, let's go on to E. Airport hangar lease agreement renewal.
Mr. Chairman, if I'm gonna get Frank to step up and to the podium, if he will, and introduce this item to you.
Okay, come on up.
Good afternoon.
Frank?
So it's not the leases, the renewals. The renewals are an automatic every year. January 1st is written in the lease when they sign them. It's just a formality. It's actually for the increase in the hangar rents that we have been discussing over the last couple of sessions, and then with a few of you folks and sidebarring. So in the package, there should be a increase. I just did for all but 2 of the hangars, so it'd be the 2 sets of T hangars that the county rents, which would be 24 hangars, the 2 corporate hangars, and the Quonset hut. it was an approximate 35% increase, which takes into effect 17 years that there has been no increase.
How many years, Frank?
17, sir. 2006 was when the first tenants moved in. We're now in 24, so coming close to 18 years. So that would take effect, just like we would give a tenant a 90-day notice if we were going to ask them to leave or evict them, or they would be required to give us 90 days. We've done the same thing with the increase. So letters, if you approve this, will go out to all the tenants by the end of the month. And then starting May 1st, the new increases will take effect. The other two hangars that I mentioned, I just did a flat, I doubled their rent because they've been paying $100 a month for one 7 years, one 6 years. And I just doubled that to $200 per for those two hangars.
Frank, you did check all this are in line with the other airports?
We're still below what most airports are doing.
We're still below.
We're still below.
We're still gonna be below other airports?
Yes, sir. A RT hangar in Jacksonville alone would be approximately $450 a month.
How about Douglas? I mean, they're a town.
Douglas is about, they're a little bit lower than we are, but they are in the process of looking at raising their rents as well. They're experiencing growth, and they're getting ready to build some new hangars as well. So those hangars will come at a premium, and then the ones that are older, they'll have the ability to charge less for those, but they're in the process of building. If you go right up the road through Alma, the airport there on the left across from that old reactor plant, I think it's Alma, or US 1, they're in the process of building a brand new set of T hangars and 2 corporate hangars. Their corporate hangar is going to be in about the $750 a month range for the same size corporate. It's a 50 by 60. So it's approximately 3,000 square feet for the corporate.
How are we coming on the other 2 hangars we got out there that's leased to other people? It's not aviation.
I initiated the process. I'm just waiting on further guidance as far as if we're going to follow through with the removal or keep it status quo. I know one of the entities was going to reach out to one, if not all of you. I don't know if they have. That was Scott Built, the representative, talked to them about, and that was earlier in December. I don't know if he's reached out to you or not. I haven't heard from him since. And then the other individual, I know you're aware of that as well, with that company. They're based out of Pennsylvania. But for that hangar in particular, the back end, which would be the side closest to Keene Drive there, that's been getting cleared out the last couple of days. When I left here, we had a bunch of work going on there, getting that cleaned out and looking to see what we can do with that facility, more so in the aviation enterprise.
I did speak with Brian Bonador, and he said that he spoke with the gentleman that owns the company, and they're planning on building themselves a building, and ask if it's possible to extend their lease to the end of this calendar year, enough time to get a building built so they can get moved out. And I told him I would mention that to you all.
So, Frank, the one for
Go ahead, Mr. Burks.
No, I'm going to ask you on the, so the building where the, what, pyrotechnical?
That's it.
Yes, sir.
That's-
Okay, so whenever they move out, okay, and you say they're cleaning out the stuff that's in there now, which I understand been kind of like a catch-all for a lot of stuff for years.
Yes, sir.
So, and I know it haven't been that long since we had the last meeting, but right now, do you think it'd be best for us to, like raise that building or try to go in there and fix that building up and try to use it, or what's your thoughts right now on that building and the other building for that matter?
Well, from what we've seen with the larger buildings, since most of that debris has been cleared out, it looks like it's cosmetic in repairs. It'd be a lot of the siding is starting to corrode away at the bottom. The structure itself, the frame looks pretty intact. I'm by no means an engineer or architect, but looking at it structurally, it looks sound. There is no electricity or plumbing, hasn't been for a very long time in there. It was mainly open the doors, sunlight comes in, do what you gotta do, get out, type deal. So we definitely need to get in there and get a good look at it. The other building, Scott Built, I know they did put some money into that when they fixed it up for what they use. They have an actual spray booth in there for the jobs they do, so it's full electric, no water, hence why they got the porta johns been out there. But for what they have, it's in a lot better shape internally. They spray foam the whole inside, so that may be something where it's got some more feasibility should come, that they're moving out, so.
But pyrotechnical, Scott, you say they planning to build a building and wanna
Yes,
get them to the end of the year?
Yeah, calendar year, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Any more?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I got something I'd like to bring up to the commission to Mr. Frank, please.
Go ahead.
At our last time that we spoke about this thing, I was under the impression that we were not going to make any steps or take any action on anything to do with the airport, especially those two hangars that we're renting to those two entities. No action was going to be taken, and it was going to be as is until Mr. Frank come back to the commission and brought us what his future prognosis of the airport was going to consist of. But now I'm under the impression that certain things have already started on both of those buildings. And just like Pyrotechnics is now talking about building their own building, hence Scott Bill, the now champion, was emailed that their lease was going to be lapsing on them as well. And I'd like to know why they were sent an email, where all that comes from, when we as a governing body, as a commission, voted to leave it as is with no steps being taken. And all of a sudden, like 10 days after we took that action, there was action taken against the two people that were paying rent. My emails and conversations of they were going to have to move. I'd just like to know where all that come from. So that's not the way I remember us voting.
Can I answer?
Sure.
That was actually before that meeting, Mr. Commissioner. I reached out to both those entities before, and to be quite honest, the Varnador is an entity through Pyrotechnico, Mr. Varnador, but he's not mentioned on the lease. I have no way to get a hold of Pyrotechnico. All they provide is a P.O. box and a release. The other gentleman's name I was given through other channels, but that was again prior to the meeting that we had here, or the commission meeting. And then I did meet with Mr. Jason Ribenow, I believe it was, is what you all recommended I do. 2 days later, him and I took a tour of the airfield, and we discussed the very thing you're talking about. So that was all done in accordance with what you suggested I do.
So the letter was sent out before?
I never sent a letter, sir. I made a phone call.
Phone call?
Yes, sir. And then I emailed him a copy of the lease. This is Scott built because he didn't have the one that I was talking about. So I emailed him a copy of the only lease that I had. That did occur after the meeting, but that was because the gentleman at Scott built requested a copy of that lease.
So, but right now,
Right now,
everything is
where
on
we
hold
left
as
it
far
our
as
last
the lease.
meeting.
That's what,
I've done nothing else other than the rent increase,
Right.
Okay.
get the hangar cleared out, and speak with Mr. Jason as you all asked me to do.
okay,
So where we're left.
right.
And I haven't raised the rents. It's on you all to make that decision
Coming on those two buildings?
on any of them, period.
They need to be raised, they need to be brought up to, speed on our, it's been too long. I mean, the accounting has not been very good at that airport. It just needs to get straightened out, and the lease is up to date.
Yes, sir.
That's my opinion.
Is the rent on these two buildings that Timmy was
Without the
talking
two
about?
buildings, they're still
Are they
on the
gonna be
side.
raised too?
Yeah.
I put that in the letter to you all. If they continue to stay there, then yes, they will go up as well.
They'll stay. Okay. Anything else? Okay, thank you, Frank. We carried over. Appointment for the Ware County Land Bank Authority. Mr. Steve Strickland holds post 6, the Waycross Ware County Land Bank Authority. His term expired December 31. The next board meeting is scheduled for January. The commission will need someone appointed to this post. Mr. Strickland cannot serve again as he has completed a full 4-year term. Is that
I don't have anyone to nominate.
Does that have to be a county resident or
Yes, sir.
city?
County resident.
Have to be a county resident.
We don't have nobody to appoint, or,
I haven't been given any names, any nominations.
Anybody in the audience wanna sit on the land board? What the pay? Cheeseburger wants some,
Mr. Gary's smiling in the corner back there.
Well, that's what I'm keep looking at.
yeah, Gary, be good.
Yeah,
Ms. Giddens, would you like to serve on the land bank? You wanna serve on the land bank, Deborah? Be a good job for you. I nominate Deborah Giddens.
I
to serve on the
second.
land bank.
I second that nomination. Shouldn't have shown up today.
Gary, we got one.
We got it.
Okay, let's go on to G then. Appointments, Ware County Board of Assessors.
This one's fairly easy, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Jacob Strickland and Mr. Bobby Wright
Wright.
needs to be reappointed. They, or would like to be reappointed. Their terms have ended, and,
Can they do it again?
Yes, sir.
They can
Yep.
rotate?
Yes, sir.
Another one?
I think we don't need to disappoint them.
Will they do it?
There's no term limit on Board of Assessors.
They always, huh?
There's no term limit on Board of Assessors. They can serve
Ain't no
for.
term, okay,
on and on.
ain't no term limit, okay. All right,
Good.
that'll do it, we'll move it over. Now, we got a county manager report.
Okay, I was just gonna mention, we normally have a retreat at the first of the year. I'm gonna plan for that at the end of February like we usually do. Not unless y'all have a different time period that y'all wanna do. Typically, it's the end of February, just kind of giving you a heads up. Also too, I was contacted by Rusty Hall with the YMCA, and he asked me about our plans with opening the Bailey Street pool if the county was gonna open it. I told him that I would have to, we'd have to discuss that with the commission and make a decision. So I'll have that on the meeting at the end of this month to make a decision, because he said they needed to really know at the end of January if at all possible, because there's a lot of housekeeping work that needs to be done with that. And that's really all I have at this point.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, before we move on, if you don't mind, just to pop back to our former agenda item that you all asked me to look into. On December 13th of 21, Commissioner Barnard made a motion, excuse me, which was to approve acceptance of the road contingent upon the roads being deeded to the county by the legal owner, adequate core samples submitted to the county, and the cul-de-sac being constructed. So that is in those minutes.
Okay.
And then we're having someone check with Mr. McGee's office as we're meeting right now, so we'll follow up and see if we can find that out this afternoon. But I did want to let the commission know about that.
Did the motion carry?
Yes, it
If
did. carry.
they abide by all of our requirements, that it will pass with magnet, right?
I'll have to let,
They,
our two gentlemen answer that were up at the podium before, but my understanding was the answer to that was yes.
Brandon, did they finish all of it?
Well, you know, mentioned something about some curb cleaning, that all we were aware of that was lacking. Cleaning out some curbing is all we were aware of. Everything else,
Okay.
I think, was done according to the request of the commission.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? All righty. Thank you, Madam Council. All right, any more county manager report?
No, sir,
Anything
that's
else?
all I have.
How about commission comment?
I don't.
Got anything, Leonard? Lucas? Barney?
I'm good, but I've already said everything I was gonna say.
Okay. We have no more comment. I hear a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned. We'll be back at, 5, no, let's see, when's the hearing? We got a public hearing, 4:30. 5 minutes, we're gonna have a public hearing. going into public hearing. I'll do a roll call.
He wants to talk at the public hearing, but anybody can talk.
Kurt.
Keep remembers at the top.
Kurt Williams. Okay. What are you?
I'm doing my best.
I'll do a roll call on the public hearing. Mr. Burris,
Present.
Mr. Pope,
Present.
Mr. Lucas,
Present.
Mr. Barner,
President.
Chairman's here, okay? This is on the agenda item. This is a request by Mrs. Reba Wright, the landowner adjoining both sides of a portion of Ed Davis Road in Millwood. This request is to close and abandon a 1.39 mile, more or less, extending in a northern direction from Old 122 Highway to Perch Creek Trail. Ed Davis Road is located between Perch Creek Trail and Old 122 Highway, east in Waycross, Millwood, in the land lot 181 and 188 of the 8th Land District. Now, is anybody here for this? Would y'all come up? Y'all want this road closed? Somebody come up and talk. We're gonna give you about 5 minutes.
Hey, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I'm Reba Wright. I live at 7841 Sycamore School Road in Manor, and I am the joint owner of half of that property with my 2 nephews, and then the other portion on the other side, a total of 220 acres. This land's been in my family since 1936, and we plan to keep it in the family the rest of the time. I have some other homeowners here that are in support of it too, if they need to speak. But over the years, we've had a lot of problems. Nobody lives on the property right now, but we do have cultivated farmland. And I'm sorry, excuse me. And we can't keep a well pump, can't keep anything over there because people use that as a hangout because there's nobody living there. They go and they throw their beer cans out, they throw their dogs out to hunt. My sons do hunt that property, but they only still hunt. And they throw their dogs out. They go coon hunting without permission. So we would like to request to get it closed off. There is plenty of access for anybody in the Millwood Plantation. We are not part of Millwood Plantation. So there is plenty of access, other ways to get in and out of their properties without going through ours. The road is not being maintained. We did bring some pictures of the current condition of the property. It needs a lot of work done over there. And right now, you might as well say it's a one-path road. We've had calls in the past from the sheriff's office where they found people over there picking sawtooth berries and asked if we, sawtooth palmetto, asked if we'd given permission, and of course we had not. But we would just like to get it closed off so that we can do some improvements and try to keep it in a manner that it needs to be kept.
Okay. Where are you gonna close it at? All the way up to Perch Creek?
Yes, sir, it would be
Close
closed
it off right there?
all the way up to Perch Creek, which is where Ms. Jeffers lives, and also down to where the...
122.
Excuse me?
All the way to 122.
122. It's 1.39 miles through there. And if you go down Hasty Road, for people that live in the TV tower area or whatever, we did do a measurement, and it's less than 3/4 of a mile for them to take Hasty Road and turn back on Old 122.
Okay.
So if we closed off that, they would have to give it a 3/4 of a mile difference to get a different route.
Right. There's probably 5 or 6 different ways to get into Millwood Plantation from 122 or that area. Not only 122, but folks that live on TV Tower Hasty Road back over that way, there's plenty of access other than that cut-through road.
Hasty Road, well-maintained road too.
Yeah, it is a county-maintained road, Hasty is, and 122 also is a county-maintained.
Y'all own those fields there, both
Yes,
of
sir.
those fields? And
We
that
own-
land?
It's a total of 220 acres, 110 on one side and 109 point something on the other side.
Okay, what about these other folks that own this, that is coming through?
We do have Miss Jeffers here that owns,
They want it closed too?
yes, sir, they're in agreement. She lives at Perch Creek end of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the corner of Perch Creek and Ed Davis.
And she has some things that she's had happen during the time that she's been there with her family.
Yeah.
But it's mainly, people just, on Saturday night, they like to find a place that's quiet and they can, go through and run and do what they want to do, and that's been the place.
It's okay with these landowners here too? And-
Mr. Reagan,
I'm here.
Mr. Reagan is here, and you're in support also.
Yes, ma'am.
They have some information that he would like to say also, of some stuff that's happened on his property since he's on it. The only one that is not here is the section across from Mrs. Jeffers. I don't think they're here. Oh, okay, you are here. And I have talked to all these homeowners that have property on the roads, and they're in agreement, right? Okay, so, but we do have the Jeffers and the Reagans at the 122 end. They own on both sides of 122 right there. I mean, they're on 122, but they own both sides of Ed Davis that connects to ours.
Okay.
About this property right here, who
Yes.
owns that?
Mr. Reagan.
Okay. And this up here,
That's mine, I'd like to speak.
okay.
They both agreeable to close it. Both of these are agreeable to close it.
The Reagans and the Jeffries, and he said he had something he wanted to talk about.
I have an objection.
Okay.
Who's against it now?
Yeah. I'll get to that now. Is anybody against this closing of this road?
Y'all come on up and,
You got some against it? Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner and Commissioners. I own the lot 137, which is the corner lot, which is on Hasty and Peach and Ed Davis. I have 27 and a half acres that I own there. I'd like to give you a copy of the plot, just so you can reference real quickly, if that's acceptable to you guys. So you can get a view of that. It's currently just one parcel, but I can point to what's going on with that. Okay, so I bought this property back in, believe it or not, yes, sir, 2008, 5 months before the big crash of the market. Paid $130,000 for these 27 acres with the intent of building on it. And of course, then the market collapsed, and so I was waiting for the market to pick back up before we built on it. And then right when I was about ready to do that, we had COVID, and so we delayed it. But we're about ready to try to do something. The plan here, obviously the lands after the fire is not worth what it was in the past, but what we intend to do is to subdivide that property, and I've just given you an example of 4 lots. We may put 5. You have to be a minimum, this is part of Millwood Plantation, we have to have a minimum of 5 acres per lot. What you see here would be 4 lots. But if you look at the map I've given you, I would have the entrance, 3 of them would be on Ed Davis Road to go into the properties. You can see 3 lots there that would butt up against Ed Davis
Can
Road.
he put his point on there, what it is?
where are you talking about?
Yeah, so.
This kind of,
Can you point the arrow on it, James?
How do I do that?
he's got a pointer back there.
He can put the arrow on it, I think.
Oh, how do I do it?
Good.
Yeah, so right to the right is where Ed Davis is. That's my property there.
Right there.
right to the right, if you looked at what I gave you, you know, how we would subdivide it.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at what I just gave you, there could be 3 lots, and the driveways coming into those would be off of Ed Davis Road. Okay.
So this right here is what you own?
Yes. Yes. And so, I don't, you know, so the way it's configured, there's a little bit of wetland in the middle there, so the right location to enter it would be off of Ed Davis. Now, in respect to Ms. Wright, I understand her issues with the land, you know, just below us, and I have no objection if, you know, if we wanted to close that section off and put a little cul-de-sac and privatize and let her privatize that piece of it. But for me, this would really be a burden. It would prevent me from doing what I intended to do with this property in the first place. So I get it, you know, she owns a lot of the land south, and the other neighbors don't have an issue with it, but I do. So, but just in that section. So if the county would maintain to the property line, I'm absolutely fine with closing it below that. I have no issue with that whatsoever. But I do ask the commission not to close the portion from Peach Creek Road to the end of my property line, which is that red line there you see right before the farm.
All right. Is there anybody else that don't want it closed?
Okay, I don't actually border any of the road. I am in Millwood Plantation. Actually, that map, are they talking about just the part in yellow that they want to close? Because when you get up there to where it hits Perch Creek, that section to the left from Perch Creek to Hasty is also county and Ed Davis Road. I don't know why just that part's highlighted in yellow.
That's Perch Creek.
Not by all the other county maps, that's. Right, that's why I'm asking. In other words, everything that I've pulled up, every map that I've ever pulled up shows it is Ed Davis.
That's probably before we were plantation and Road through, named the first road. Prior to.
Okay.
That would have no effect on Perch Creek Road.
Well, right, and it don't, but it does, because when you do close that, the biggest majority of people that come use Ed Davis Road, especially when they leaving from over by TV Tower Road. They go up, they turn down Ed Davis and go out that way. The rest of them, when they turn on the Perch Creek, instead of turning on the Ed Davis, they continue on and go down to Odom Road and go down out that way, which is the shortest. My concern is if we close that, and that's what's gonna happen, they all gonna just keep going right down Perch Creek and going down Odom Road. And the vast majority of the people just tearing up our road just coming from over there. So all it's gonna do is just intensify the traffic and stuff that we're getting.
Okay. All right. Any more that's against it? Got another one?
Yes, Commissioner, I don't live off the road there, but I do live in that general area. I live on the west side of Hasty. On the west side of Hasty in the plantation, there's 5 routes for egress or ingress. And while Hasty Road right now, as we speak, is in very good shape considered the weather we've had, by tomorrow afternoon, Hasty is going to be a soup sandwich. It'll be hit or miss going up and down that thing. And those are just one more. Ed Davis has always been another road to get in and out of that area. And living in a rural part of Ware County, the more roads you have, the better it is for your safety, quite frankly. I've been driving that for the 7 years I've lived here at a minimum once a week. My family, 5 vehicles, we all traverse that weekly. And over the last 15 years of coming here to visit family before we moved, we've always used that road. And Ed Davis, for whatever reason, has always been one of the better roads maintained by the county up until a few years ago when they lost the ability to trim those trees back. But Ed Davis almost was 2 lanes when I first moved here, like wide to get through. Now it's not. It's dangerous going through. It has been neglected in that sense, but that is one of our roads that we use routinely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more?
May I speak in support?
Yeah, come up.
I've got some pictures of Ed Davis, if y'all would like to look at it.
Yeah.
There's one picture of some trash on it. This is current state. A few things that I'm gonna say is pretty redundant of what Mr. Wright said, but we moved out there in 18. While building our home on several occasions, dump trucks would get ran off the road because the curves are so sharp and the vegetation overgrows. It is impossible for two vehicles to pass at the same area. A lot of times one will have to stop, back up, get to an area so that they're not all up in the shrubbery just to be able to pass. We've had to pull several people out because of that very issue of the curves, people flying down that road, not paying attention, running people off the road. We are the only residents right there. We're on Perch Creek, but our land it borders all the way to Miss Wright's on Ed Davis. The maintenance of the road is not done properly. There are sections of the road where, like I said, two vehicles cannot pass. During the summer months, the overgrowth takes over the road. I mean, you literally cannot pass down that road without scraping your mirrors on your truck. So if you do choose not to close the road, we just ask the county to do their proper maintenance on the road. Drainage is a serious issue, as you can tell in the pictures. Since moving out there, ditches have not been pulled like they pulled them on Hasty, maybe 2-3 times in 5 years that I've been there. Grading is not done every time when the county is out there grading. It's every other time to every 3 times. A pipe is needed where it ties into Old 122 to help with the drainage. There's 2 pipes needed on the north side of Ed Davis where it merges with Perch Creek, and then one where it ties into Hasty. This is always underwater when it rains. It doesn't matter what amount of rain you get, it's underwater. And when we get a lot of rain in a short amount of time, it washes it out and creates a washout to the point of bottoming out on Perch. There's people illegally hunting. There's night hunting. I can't tell you how many times that we drove down that road just to see what's going on because we hear gunshots. And people are parked in the middle of the road at Miss Wright's fields waiting for the ample opportunity to shoot. Illegally, might I add. And also her adjacent piece. They also hunt there too. If anyone would benefit from the road staying open, I feel like it would be me. It's the shortest distance to my home, but I won't take it, and I will not allow my kids to take it because of the condition, the curves, the vegetation. There is no necessary traffic that goes down that road. Any given person, TV Tower, Thornburg area, they could take Hasty to Old 122. It is 0.2 of a mile difference by going Ed Davis if they went Ed Davis versus Hasty. That's basically all I got to say. Again, like I said, if it doesn't get closed, we beg the county to properly maintain that road. Millwood Plantation, as well as myself, on several occasions, has asked for the pipes to be put in to no degree. So, the road, as you can tell, and then where my house sits, is pretty close. So when people are out night riding, they're bogging up. You can see in the dirt or the water that's piled up. That's their fun hole. And unfortunately, it's right behind my house. So that's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you. My name is Jeff Regan. I own the property lot 111 in Millwood Plantation, which is on the corner of 122 and Ed Davis right there.
Down there.
And then right across the street, I also own that property in a different corporation. My sons and I own that property, and my wife and I own lot 111. We are currently building a very large home on lot 111. I will tell you, we bought that property in 2007. We also own lot 112 next to it, which we bought in 2018, and the other property that I mentioned we bought in 2018 also. The problem we've had with Ed Davis Road is that hunters constantly use that road and run the dogs through the property. And if you look at the red line at the back of those lots there, okay, that is a private road that I installed on my property, and I have gated, and I put up no trespass signs on them. It goes all the way through because the forest department cut a road in there because somebody started a fire back there that almost got into my property, but it's not supposed to be a road that cuts through. In any event, I've actually had trespassers arrested by the Ware County Sheriff's Office and then asked Georgia DNR to prosecute them. I don't know where it's done. I've signed all the necessary affidavits. Since that was done, I've had trespassers coming through again on four-wheelers through my property on my private road back there. There's heavy equipment going down that road constantly. Where it's going to, I have no idea, because there's not a need for that kind of heavy equipment that has been going down the road while I'm there. But I will tell you that it dead ends into Perch Creek Trail. My understanding is that's entirely a private road owned by Millwood Plantation, of which I would have a right to access. But as far as I can tell, the traffic goes down Ed Davis, then goes over a private road in order to get to Hasty Road. And a lot of those people are going to TV Tower Road and further down Hasty Road, and they're just using it as a cut-through shortcut. But technically speaking, they're trespassing going over Perk Creek Trail unless they're owners of Millwood Plantation, as I am, and they have a right to use those private roads because the owners out there pay for the maintenance of those private roads. So for all of those reasons, I'm very much in favor of closing of the road. I don't want to interfere with Millwood Plantation's residents' access, but I'm telling you, everything I've seen out there, that road is used largely by people that really shouldn't be using the county road. They should be dead-ending at Perch Creek Trail. It should be fenced off there. It should be a dead end because that's a private road, and they should be forced to come back out the other way. And honestly, if Millwood Plantation put a fence up at the end of that road, I don't think there's anything anybody could do to stop people from going through. So for all the benefits that people that support, that oppose this, say there are out there, I don't think that legally there's really a right for people to be cutting through there unless they're a Millwood Plantation owner. Anyway, I would encourage closing it. I would like to echo the comments I heard. That road's in terrible shape. I drove it right before I came here today. It's nothing but potholes. It's closed down. It's being overgrown. The county's not maintaining it. If you keep that road open, I would ask, please properly maintain the road if you don't close it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more? Okay. Let's carry it over to the meeting. We'll vote on it. One more thing, how many hands are against that road being closed? Do we have, how many, would y'all raise your hands, please, one that's against it?
Just on my property.
Okay, how many is for it? Okay. All right, we'll carry it over to the meeting.
Chairman, I move we adjourn from the public hearing.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. We'll be back at, you wanna go 5? I'll start back at 5? Okay. Got just a few, 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
The meeting order.
That word, you already got it?
This is our regular county board of commission meeting. Let's call the meeting order.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Let's do a roll call again. Okay. Mr. Burris?
Present.
Mr. Pope?
Present.
Mr. Lucas? Mr. Lucas? Mr. Barner?
Present.
Chair's here. All right. I hear a motion that we approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda set forth in front of us.
Got a motion and a second. Let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Barner?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Now, we have a guest speaker. And, let's see. Miss Jamie, would y'all come up, please, to the podium?
Good evening. I'm Jamie McQuaid-Rich. I own the bowling alley here in Waycross, Rich's Alley. And we would like to petition to serve on Sundays from 2 to 7. We have a restaurant in there that we serve food all day, and people just want to have a beer and bowl and, you know, enjoy their time.
Okay. Y'all have applied for this license already, haven't you?
Yes. You know, we already have our alcohol license.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
We also, she employs cops out there. You know, we don't have much trouble out there because, and the sheriff, she's already discussed it with the sheriff, he's fine with it. We just have so many people come in, you know, from 2 to 7 and just, you know, we know families and stuff. And I help her in there, and I've worked behind the bars for a long time. And if they were out of control, I could tell if they, you know, had too much, we would stop it. So
But
we've never had a problem, ever. So that's a good thing.
But we pay officers from 7 to close.
Do we serve alcohol anywhere in the county, Scott?
I'm gonna ask Jimbo if he'll address that, because we
Jimbo,
got in
will
that
you
same
come up?
discussion today.
Do we serve anywhere else?
I thought it was in restaurants.
Currently restaurants, are allowed to sell
Serve.
alcohol on Sundays.
They are.
We have one restaurant in the county that was, Poncho Villa, I don't know, Mexican trailers.
Yeah.
That's the only one that I know of in the county that does on Sundays. Several years ago, the county commission petitioned the voters for Ware County to, allow, or put on referendum to allow for Sunday sales. If I remember correctly, it was just put on there as to allow for Sunday sales. But the commission at that time decided to only make it for restaurants. I believe it's how it went. So.
Yeah.
But we have a restaurant, we have to have the hood of a restaurant, we've had to pay all the money for a restaurant, the grease trap, everything. We are inspected as a restaurant, and I have to pay the health inspection as a restaurant. I do have other businesses, of course, out there, but I shouldn't be penalized because I have other businesses. But my liquor license were tabled twice in here, and I think everybody knew that I had to redo a large 33,000 square foot of buildings out there. I have never met any commissioner. No one has ever come to visit me. I didn't even know who my current commissioner was until last week. But I think when people think you're drowning in a fight and you're trying to keep your head above water, they make it a little bit tougher on you. And there was no reason for my liquor license to ever get tabled in this room.
Okay.
There was no good reason at all.
Like I said before, you know, you've got all these kids out here that, you know, when I was a kid, you had things to do, but now, you know, I see all these kids getting into drugs and doing what they do, and she's trying to bring something to the community that will keep these kids. You know, if you're gonna break the law, you're gonna break the law, you know, that's just gonna be said, but when you've got something for these kids to do and they enjoy it and they love it, she has birthday parties out there, and we do events, and we just try to get the community involved.
And we keep it good and family oriented.
It's all family oriented.
But I don't think there's nothing wrong if somebody wants to have a beer and bowl on, you know, with their family, and that's where we keep on catching a lot of heat from customers. They're like, we don't understand. I mean, this is, you haven't done something, and I'm like, no, I think I'm following the rules. I've always followed the rules. I've never been in any type of trouble. Yeah, I'm getting punished or treated as if I haven't followed the rules.
Jimbo, is there anything in that order that states that the restaurant has to produce so much money, revenue versus?
It does, I don't remember the percentages, but it says how much, it says the percentage of it has to come, a certain percentage has to come from food sales.
But we've upped our food sales.
Yeah.
We've got wings now, like, we've got a lot more than when we first approached the subject.
But of course, I have 24 lanes, so I'm gonna always have more bowlers or 200 skaters, you know, nearby. You know, we're not gonna be just serving a majority of alcohol. It's
We
just.
serving like beans, rice, and bacon, or anything like that?
No,
or
we
is it
serve
just
chicken
free
wings,
food?
chicken fingers, french fries, we have fryers.
Pizza,
We have a $20,000 hood that we had to have for a restaurant. We had to have
barbecue.
a $5,000
Hot
grease
dogs,
trap.
sausage dogs, I mean, you name it, we got it
Yeah, we
just
have,
about.
yeah, nachos, cheese,
Yeah.
pizza.
How many hours you say now, from 2 to 7?
2 to 7, yeah.
2
so-
to 7,
So after, yeah,
okay.
and basically it's only about 2 to 6, 'cause, I mean, about 6:30,
We're closing
Closing
down, you know,
down.
going ahead. We don't let if bowlers come in, if it's after 6, we don't allow them
yeah.
to do a
6,
game, you know.
yeah, we stop all and
Yeah.
put it
Uh-huh. Anything on that, Mr. Burris?
No, just, you say your license was denied twice?
Yes, they were tabled here twice.
Okay, was that when they was talking about you having to put a petition wall and stuff like that?
I'm not sure, yeah, I'm not very sure.
I don't think your regular alcohol in itself has been,
Of
I
trouble.
think the beer license came up and it was approved, but I don't think the alcohol itself has ever come in front of the commission, has it?
Yeah, everything did,
Was-
everything was.
Everything's been in front of there to sell,
Yes, and it's been approved, we've had
no
it,
wine and liquor.
we just renewed that.
Cause I do recall when you first opened it was something
Yeah.
about putting a petition wall or something like that.
They wanted to be some separation between the kids and the alcohol service. So
Right.
what they did is they built a bar. And the
Yeah.
bar is a U-shaped bar, up there, and then they left pool tables towards the bar end, but the game room, they
It's
moved to
at
the
the bar
other.
It's at the whole other
end.
end, that way we can keep them away from, you know, the bar area.
And that game room's closed in with a big case open.
Yeah.
Cause I could never remember it being tabled or turned down. I mean, I
Yeah.
know it was certain stipulation, we say we
Of
wanted to
course,
have it
yeah.
done.
So who tabled your license?
It was in here twice, that's what I was
Where?
told. It was here twice, is what I was told. I kept being put back on the
County?
docket. Yes,
Okay.
And why?
I don't know.
Why was it turned down?
No, I got them now. I mean, I have them. I've had
So
them in here.
what's the question? I'm getting confused. I'm not very
The
smart.
question is, I want to serve on Sundays now, 2 to 7 every day, on Sundays. We have our liquor license, we just want to serve on Sundays.
Yeah, just from 2 to 7.
Okay, you already have a liquor license, but
Yes.
you just
Yes, sir.
wanna be able to serve on Sunday afternoon from 2 to 7.
Yes, correct.
Is they,
So what we'd have to do, at the direction of the county manager, and y'all, would be to come back and do an amendment to the alcohol license, ordinance, and then allow the sale of alcohol from whatever hours y'all wanna make it, so.
okay.
So that would be any alcohol. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm kind of in the dark, but that would be beer plus
Beer, liquor?
mixed drinks. I mean, anything alcohol?
Yes,
Mixed
sir.
drinks, liquor, distilled spirits, it would be,
Moonshine, I mean, out by the swamp.
I'm
If it's
bringing
legal
that.
alcohol.
If
I don't
it's
know if
legal
that's
alcohol,
We don't sell moonshine.
it ain't not some of our legal stuff.
I don't know if that's legal in Georgia.
If they meet the requirements, I've got no problem with it. I don't drink, but,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know, you know.
see where they should be punished as long as they're doing what they're supposed to do.
I mean, you do,
Exactly.
she does have a restaurant in the
Yes.
building.
Yes.
I mean, you're kind of splitting hairs there from that
Yeah.
standpoint, so.
The health department says it's a restaurant, and the department I'm concerned is a restaurant.
And we're a restaurant, yes.
Let me ask the council something. If
go ahead.
council, we can just amend our resolution that we already have that she could do that on Sunday?
So we currently have an alcohol ordinance, which we need to study and see how it applies to this specific entity. This is a little bit unusual because usually, you've got a restaurant or you've got a bar, but we've kind of got bowling alley, restaurant, bar, game room, it's it's an entertainment facility. So I think what, to Mr. Schubert's point, what we need to do is if the commission is interested in this, let us go back, pull the alcohol ordinance, study it, see if revisions are required to allow an entity like this to operate on Sundays. I don't know necessarily that there is, but we need to study that to see.
Okay.
I got a question for you. If I was a drink man, which I don't drink, I want to go in and sit down at the bar and have me 4 or 5 good drinks. So I'd be legal doing that? That'd be just like running a regular bar.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you
Right
do.
there.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah,
passed.
you could do that if the ordinance changed.
I mean,
What
not
I
even,
would-
not
what I
even
would
order no
recommend-
food or anything. Just go there and drink, not eat
Well,
or
I
play
could go
games
to-
or
I could
anything.
go to a restaurant and order
Right now,
order
Applebee's,
alcohol I want to, and never even order
Yeah.
any
I think
food, so-
Cabaneros, anywhere like
Yeah.
that, you can still do that too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it depends on what the commission wants, the direction of the commission. I can make an amendment if it's required, I can make an amendment to the ordinance that comes up that allows recreational, areas like that, combined with food sales to serve alcohol. We could do it, allow everything to serve alcohol countywide on Sunday. It's up to what the commission wants.
And none of them has cops, that are there too. We keep cops there, so.
I just can't make an amendment for the bowling alley. I have to make an amendment countywide.
But we are a restaurant, so that's kind of,
So, okay, well, Jamie, what we don't really know then, according to the council, let us look into it a little more, what we can do for this, on this resolution, and then we'll let you know.
yes.
We'll have to get
So
back.
if we're a restaurant though, maybe that part where why are we penalized if we have another business, with, entertainment or anything else with it?
Right.
For if we are a restaurant, we're still meeting the requirements of a restaurant, so.
Yeah. Sounds like y'all.
You can
in
come up with a
order.
recommendation, Jennifer, please.
I'll work with Mr. Schubert and we'll try to get clear guidance from the county manager as to this commission's desire, and then certainly we can make the language effectuate that desire.
It's not fair for them to be left in limbo all this time.
Thank you.
So right now, during the week, y'all serve
Yes.
during the week. You're
Thursday,
just talking
Friday,
about
Saturday.
Sunday.
Yes, just Sunday.
Yes, sir.
I'll have this on the agenda for our next meeting at
For
the end of
next
this
meeting.
month, which is like the 20th,
Okay.
22nd,
Yeah.
I think.
All right.
Okay.
We'll get it right up and then we'll
Okay.
look at it.
Thank y'all so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank y'all.
You say your name and address for the record system?
Yeah,
Yes, Tatum Thrift Walker, 2606 Swamp Road, Waycross.
hey, thank you, Dave. Okay.
Thank both of y'all, Ms. Tatum and Mr. Wade.
Okay. Now we have the Employee of the Month. Miss Teresa, is she here? Teresa?
Good evening.
Hey, Teresa.
We would like to recognize Ms. Courtney Rodriguez for the January 2024 Employee of the Month. She was nominated by Ms. Katrina McCullough, the office manager there, who says she's been a part of our team in the Ware County Solicitor's Office since October 2020 as a victim advocate. Our office is fast-paced and busy with many tasks that have to be completed as we process many cases daily for and through Ware State Court. But Courtney is right there in the trenches doing a great job in helping prepare case files, answering phone calls, being a support connection for victims of domestic violence, and any other tasks she is asked to do to ensure that the work of our office is completed. Courtney is professional and cordial to everyone she encounters via telephone, in person, at court, and also to other work colleagues. She's committed to the work of the Ware County Solicitor's Office, but also of the mission of Ware County government for the citizens of Ware County. So if you all would, help me congratulate Mrs. Courtney Rodriguez as this month's Employee of the Month.
Okay.
And Katrina and Joseph Johnson, Solicitor, you all can come up.
Congratulations. Thank you, Teresa. Okay, now, approve of the minutes, meeting minutes for December 2023. I hear a motion that we approve the work session public hearing for 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion we approve the minutes for the meeting in December 2023, the work session December 11th, 2023, public hearing December 11th, 2023, regular meeting December the 11th, 2023.
Okay,
No, I'll second that motion.
we got a motion and a second. Let's vote on it. Mr. Burson? Aye. Mr. Pope? Aye. Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Barner?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Now, we're gonna go ahead with this public hearing. I'm gonna move it up. And we're gonna go ahead and vote on it. Let's move it up to right now. So we're gonna, do I hear a motion that we, vote to close this road?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we close this road.
Ed Davis Road.
Stated in the work session, public hearing, Ed Davis Road.
Okay, I hear a second. I don't have a second. It died. I have a motion to leave it open. I guess, do we have to go with a motion to leave it open, or it's just
Well,
dead?
it is open, and so
Dead.
unless there's
So it just,
a majority vote to close it, then it will remain open.
okay. Yeah, the motion died. Okay. Okay, we need the commission members' appointments for calendar year of 2024. So
We got to vote. We hadn't
Well, it
voted.
did.
It
It didn't get a second.
We've just got a motion without a
Nobody
second
seconded.
Nobody
to
got a second?
close the road.
I'll second it.
You
There you
second
go,
the
baby.
closing?
Close it.
Okay.
All right.
Start over.
They must not have heard it. Okay, Steve made a motion to close the Ed Davis Road. And he got a motion, and I have a second.
Second.
Okay, I got a second. Any discussion on it?
This is my fourth term in the county commissioner. This is probably the second time I've ever voted to close a road. But in this case, going where it is, I support Commissioner Barnard's motion.
And my say, we got a mile and a half of dirt road that no houses on. It runs through two different bays, I think. And if we leave it open and make it passable like a regular county road should be, we'd have to spend lots of money hauling dirt in there. And I just don't think the road's worth it. If there was houses on it at one end or the other end, it'd be different, but, the difference between going down Lewis Davis Road and Hasty Road to 122, I think, what, 2/10 of a mile, maybe? I mean, there's not that much difference in mileage. And it don't create no emergency hazard or anything like that, because there's still plenty of other emergency routes that can be taken to evacuate the area if I had to.
Okay,
Commissioner Barnard, if I may, just for clarity for the minutes, I know during the public hearing, there was some discussion about, a yellow designation of the road, and then there was a question about, did we want to shorten that, or did we want to, was there other portions of that road that were not designated in yellow on the map? But just for clarity for the minutes, is the motion to close what was yellow designated on the plat that was provided?
Yes, from Birch Creek to.
That's right, perfect. I just want to make sure that we've designated that for the minutes.
under discussion, I'd like to ask about that, part of that they don't own side of, what was the guy that had the lot there on the corner? So if he owns a portion of that road, of that land there backed up to there, so he gets part of that Ed Davis property back, Well, he can close that in and nobody can use the rest of it anyway. I mean, that's a question that I was asked. If you do wanna close it, then he could eventually close the rest of it, I guess, couldn't he? But he's okay with closing it.
The gentleman behind me is the one that wanted to close it.
I own the corner lot.
You want, and you do want it closed.
He does not.
That's what I thought.
I'm fine with closing it at the southern end of my property line, which is their property line.
Right.
I'm fine with closing there, but I plan to build houses there, which will have driveway access on Ed Davis Road onto those lots.
Yeah.
So they're not, the houses are not built yet, but that's the chart I gave you, I showed you 4 lots.
How many feet down Lewis Davis Road do you own? 300 and something? 383 foot?
Three. No, then he owns the 400 feet too. No, just 3, that's right, 383. 383.25.
Sounds right.
Over 4 separate lots on that road.
It used to be, we're allowed to, this is part of Millwood, we're allowed to subdivide.
Now, who owns those other lots?
And I'm planning to do 4 or 5 on that property. So the 4 new homes, really nice homes, all have to be at least 1,600 square foot. I build houses. These would be really nice homes, it'd be great tax benefit, but I've got to have access to those houses. So if we close off that Davis, it means I have to maintain that road, which I don't have the way to do that. It's going to diminish the value. I bought the property when it was a county road. I didn't know you could close a county road. So I'm learning something new on this thing. I didn't know the county could close, make it private. If I do that, I may not have bought it. But my purpose of it was to develop it, and that is the plan to do that. I totally understand Mrs. Wright's issues with traffic on her side of the property. I have no problem with stopping the road rated her property line. But I have a problem if it stops, at Perch, because then it does impact me.
Can I say something about that too, please?
Yeah.
If it goes from Perch to where he's speaking of blocking it 300-something feet, the county will have to maintain that part of that road and build a cul-de-sac for people to drive down it and turn around and go back out.
No, you're gonna have the dumping area down there then.
I know that.
Not there to monitor.
But this guy bought this land with a county road side of it. And then you're gonna come up and close me. I'd kind of
He
be,
has access via Hasty.
He has access on
I
Hasty
mean, you
Road.
still got 913 foot of Hasty, you got 250 foot.
Mr. Chairman, if we may,
Yeah.
let's not speak unless we're recognized by the chairman, just so we can keep order. Thank y'all.
I know, the hell he might want to go out right now. Okay, any more discussion on it?
One more thing, Mr. Chairman. Go ahead.
That-
Mr. Chairman, I don't know, looking at this map, the 383 feet could only hit that 8.79 acres. I think he wants it open all the way down to where it says 411.54, and that's gonna be a total of about 1,742 feet.
No,
No?
He don't own it all the way down there?
Yeah.
That's what he says. He owns all of that right there. All them blocks there, they cut up. He owns all of this right here.
he owns, is that right there?
You just own the 8.79 acres?
27 and a half.
Huh?
27 and a half.
Oh, 27, you own the 6.91 too?
What's his land at?
What the map I gave you was divided up to 27 acres and 4 lots.
This is the-
So you have to go to the.
Where does that man own that thing?
Let me,
What is talking about here now?
He owns all this. He owns all that.
This is what he
You
wants to
can't
divide.
cut him.
it might be,
He's got lots already designed.
it might be confusing.
I don't see how you can cut him off.
Here's the way it is today. That's it. What I gave you was
Yeah,
dividing
you
it.
got
So if you look at this one, if I divided it up,
So you got it divided, that's what.
then you got, I would access 1, 2, 3 from Ed Davis. This is her property, Miss Wright, she's down here.
Those out there, that's what I. Okay, what is the man's name?
Like I said, if you put a cul-de-sac here, I am totally fine.
So you own all of this right
Yes,
there here?
yes, yeah, I own all this, this is just my proposed subdividing of, to build houses, but I want to, right?
You own the whole thing?
all the way to there.
He owns this whole.
Here, this is mine, this piece here.
Kind of landlocked.
This is Ed Davis. And I own this. That whole section right there.
27 acres.
That whole section. So what I was showing you here was dividing that one piece up. So this is how it is today. This is Ed Davis, this is Peach. If I divide it into 4 lots, okay, what I would want is access to these lots from Ed Davis. Otherwise, I have to cut through.
What if you close it right there?
But I'm fine with that.
I thought
Totally
it was
fine.
just this right here, 8.7, I thought it was just an 8.79.
No, it's this whole thing here. So I'm totally fine with the cul-de-sac there. I get it, it's her property there, you know. I just want to have access, I don't have a way to maintain it, so, you know, so if the county maintains it to the property line, I'm fine with that. I have no objections.
Okay. Is she,
Didn't show you.
Jamie, what's her name?
This is the current.
What's that lady's name that wants to close it?
And what I brought up
Read
here
it.
earlier was my plan to subdivide.
Are you fine with closing that road right there at that property line?
So this would be.
No, I'm not.
He wants it
So this
closed.
would be, 1,
May I
2,
speak?
3.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you.
As far as me being okay with closing it right there past my property, like about where my property goes a little bit further deeper onto Bud Davis. Would I be okay closing it at that point? No, because my argument would be that would be a dumping site for people. Once they got to that point and realized that they could not go through, it would eventually be a dumping site for carcasses, trash, and whatnot. But also to create a cul-de-sac for people to be able to turn around, that would involve taking possibly some of my property, which I'm not willing to do. If he hasn't received any permits and he is looking to subdivide that land, he can create his own road up into those parcels. Another point I want to bring across is our covenants within Millwood Plantation say you cannot own a business. If he is looking to subdivide that property to sell it, and he is going to build the homes on that property to sell, that's a business.
Is this property that you own, is it in Millwood Plantation?
It is a part of Millwood Plantation, fully accessible by Hasty. By him coming on to Bud Davis, that would allow him to be able to create more parcels rather than keeping it on Hasty. But also by the covenants within Millwood Plantation, that piece of property is fully accessible by Hasty.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, but the lady that was just speaking, she was not on, I couldn't see her, she was not on camera.
Chief? Okay, go ahead, Tim.
You see her now, Tim?
The young lady that was just speaking, who was that?
Yeah.
Casey Jeffers.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I just couldn't see you on the camera.
Okay. Which land do you own, Miss Jeffers? The one, the big tract? She owns that. She owns this on this side. Okay. And you want it closed?
I would like to have the road closed, and, you know, if he was to subdivide it on his piece that he's talking about, I moved to the country to have my space, and if he subdivided it and put houses, they would be within a stone's throw of my home in my backyard.
Okay, well, when you close that road now, part of that land will go to you and part of it to him. The center line will be opened back up. So he can open it back up on his side.
9 foot, add more to it if you want to.
Private. He opened it up as a private road.
And that's not, that would be more on his property.
Yeah. Okay.
responsible for the road that he built
Correct.
on those 4 lots that he's gonna develop.
Right.
Correct.
It will no longer be the county's problem.
You're right.
It's his problem to maintain it and see to it that security is maintained on that piece of property.
Be proud of
Nobody
that.
else's
Correct.
responsibility but his.
That'd be his baby.
Exactly.
All right. All right, we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Well, Mr. Chairman, one other thing I would like to say, when you start talking about closing and, you know, people pro and con, you know, for that. But, you know, what was it, I think at our last meeting, or meeting before last, we pretty much had the same situation where this person that bought a big
Come
large
back,
tract of land and it had the road that was cutting through. And, at that time, we voted, you know, to leave that road open, you know, and I, like I say, I know people like the dumping and all this kind of stuff, but, it's almost apples to apples what we did at this last meeting.
Right.
I think in this case, it's the, cost of maintaining this road as compared to the other. This cost to maintain this is so much greater than the other road in Millwood. That's where I'm looking at.
Plus too, you'd have had a piece of property on that road out on Dyson Road that would have been landlocked too. Just, Giddens' property, it would have been landlocked back there.
Yeah, Ms. Giddens, she was affected by that.
Okay. All right, let's vote on it. Any more discussion before we go vote? And your motion is to close the Ed Davis Road on the yellow portion all the way through?
Yes.
From 122 to Perch Creek?
Oh, 122.
Yeah. Okay. Let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
No.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas? Mr. Lucas?
No. No.
Mr. Barner? Chair votes no. Okay, we'll leave it open.
May I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
What do we need to do to make sure it's properly maintained? From grading the road, every grade that y'all grade hasty, pulling the ditches and cutting shrubbery, so it maintains a safe travel environment for people. And I don't get bombarded with having to pull people out because they get ran off the road.
Okay.
Our road department be addressing that road.
Thank you.
Make one other comment? If we decided, or if we could get together and decide that we would close it at the point that he wanted to, would we have to re-petition, or how would we go about that?
Yes, yes, you have to go through the process, and there'll have to be another public hearing and all of that.
All right, maybe we'll have to call y'all out to clean up that garbage.
Okay. Okay, Vice Chairman, Ware County Board of Commissioners. Who we gonna appoint?
Chairman, I'd like to make a recommendation, that we appoint Timmy Lucas Vice Chair for the next year.
Timmy Lucas.
Commissioner Timmy Lucas, District 3.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You got a motion, you got a second?
Second.
You got a motion and a second. All in favor? Or let's vote. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas? He can't vote.
Aye.
Barner? Aye. Chair votes aye. Okay, you the vice chair. All right, ex officio member to the Downtown Waycross Development Authority.
I'd like to be reappointed to that.
You want to be reappointed?
I think Jerry's been doing a good job with that.
Okay. We're gonna reappoint.
I hear a motion that we reappoint, Commissioner Pope.
Okay.
Downtown Development.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion and a second. Okay. All in favor, let's go with, Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Barner? Okay. You got that one. Southern Georgia Regional Commission Board of Directors.
Who's on it now?
Chairman, I believe.
Chairman.
Is that in addition to the chairman?
No, that's really the chairman or his
I think I'm
appointee.
I make a motion, we leave the chairman on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. If we can just go back to the last agenda item, I believe it was unanimous, but we didn't get your vote on the last one. Was that an aye?
Aye,
Thank you, sir.
on the, commission,
Yes, thank you.
okay. Now, vote on the, Regional Commission Board. We got a motion.
I made a motion to leave you as on the board.
Okay, Mr. Burris,
Aye.
Mr. Pope, Mr. Lucas,
Did we get a second?
Mr. Barnard. Okay, I ain't gonna vote for myself. Okay, let's go to D. Ex officio member of the Waycross Ware County Library Board.
Move to reappoint Commissioner Lucas.
I second it.
Lucas is the.
I'll accept it.
All right,
You should have been here.
Yeah.
all right,
Sneeze, you lose.
let's vote on it. Mr. Burris,
Aye.
Mr. Pope,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas,
Aye.
Mr. Barnard,
Aye.
and I, chair votes aye. Okay. All right, now let's go to agenda items. Banking services proposal acceptance. Okay, we had that on the, changing our banking. Did I hear a motion that we do it?
So move,
Mr.
Mr. Chair.
Chairman, I got one question before we, vote on this. I'm sorry I didn't bring it up earlier.
What's that?
We need to, gonna get the motion and second,
When
then
we vote to
discussion.
approve this, how long are we locked in for, or do we get the option? Is it every 12 months, 24 months, 36 months?
I think it's every year, ain't it?
No, sir,
Scott?
it's typically done about every 3 years, every 3
Three.
to 5 years, but typically we'll try to do it on every 3-year period.
3
Only reason why is because you got local banks that said that they would be able to handle the capabilities that we need within the next couple of 3 years, so that's kind of what I'm thinking in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Mr. County Manager, that's exactly what I wanted to know. Thank you.
3 years,
And
okay.
also, I think it's provision in there too, if something doesn't go quite right, that we can
Oh, yeah,
opt
yeah,
out.
you can,
Yeah.
yes, sir, sure can.
Yeah, we're not signing a contract with the bank, right?
That's correct, yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay. Thank y'all.
all right. We had the motion.
Commissioner Burris made a motion.
A motion.
Okay.
Accept.
All right, we got a
And I'll
second?
second.
We got a second. All right, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris,
Aye.
Mr. Pope,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Barnard,
Aye.
chair votes aye. All right, let's go to B, the resolution of the 2024-01, establish a 2024 qualification fees for Ware County elected officials. Now, we got a list, we know what that is. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to set the qualifying fees for Ware County elected officials.
Is any discussion on it?
Second that motion.
Okay, got a motion and a second, any discussion? Okay, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris,
Aye.
Mr. Pope,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas,
Aye.
Mr. Barnard,
Aye.
okay. Let's go to C. Resolution for 2024-02, support for mental health bill, ACCG.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to table this until we get more information back from
Now-
legislators.
Okay,
Second that motion.
okay, we're gonna table it. I'd like to table it too, so I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Okay? Do we have to have a vote on that, the table?
Yes, yes, sir.
We do? Okay,
Yes.
let's do a vote. Mr. Burris,
Aye.
Mr. Pope,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas?
We're voting to table it, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna table it until we get some more,
Doc, I vote
okay? Mr. Barnard?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. a right-of-way deed acceptance to Lejeune Road and Alton Circle. Now,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the right-of-way deed accepted from, on Lejeune Road and Alton Circle.
okay, accept the right-of-way. Okay. We got a second? We've got a motion, do we have a second to accept that road? You hear it, Timmy?
I hear you. I'm not seconding no.
It's the same anyway, because it is out there.
Okay,
Did y'all find out
We
anything?
have a motion, but we don't
I
have
was
a
gonna
second.
mention, I was waiting for the second if it happened. We did call over to,
I'm not.
Jim McGee's office, and he was in a meeting, we hadn't heard back, so it's probably gonna be tomorrow.
You want to just table it until
No,
next
we can
week?
do that.
Be
we
fine.
can table it then. Okay,
Mr.
let's,
Chairman, I rescind my motion, just table it till the next meeting.
okay.
Second.
We withdraw his motion and make a motion to table
And second.
it. Got a second? Okay, you got a second. Let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas?
He's on,
Mr. Barner? Okay. All right, airport hangar lease agreement renewals.
I make a motion that we accept the airport hangar lease agreement renewals as presented by Mr. Frank with the details.
Second the motion.
You got a motion and a second. Okay. Any discussion on it?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, on the lease agreements, but on the two buildings out there, I think, what was it? They moved it, make it 200.
Yeah.
That's been tabled. I mean, that's not included in my second, those two
Well-
buildings.
This is rate increase only.
Okay, it's just a rate increase
Rate
on the
increase
T
only.
hangar.
Rate increase.
Well, this is, okay,
It was written wrong, but it's rate increase only.
Okay,
this is just a
Rate-
increase only. You got hangar lease
Yes,
agreement renewal,
I didn't put that.
but we need it needs to state. Will you make the
But this does not
motion,
include those
Mr.
two
Burris,
buildings in
no, I
question.
think,
to increase it?
no, I think, Steve made a motion, wasn't he? To
Yeah, but he
increase it.
didn't. he
Timmy
made
made
it
the
to
motion.
I
just
ain't made no motion on that.
Timmy made the
not to
motion,
increase it.
Okay, Timmy, I guess Timmy, he made the motion to increase
and I
it.
seconded it.
Okay, we got a motion
Okay.
to increase. Is that correct?
That's just on the hangar lease though,
Yeah.
Yes.
not on
Hangar
the
lease.
building.
Yes, sir.
This to re-
The regular
it is
leases
a
and the
rate
yearly leases.
increase on all of them, except the land lease for all the buildings.
Except for the land lease.
And so you've
All of the
got all
hangars.
of those in your packet.
Is to increase the rate.
Increase the rate
So-
only.
Okay, got a motion?
Okay, excuse me, so are those two buildings on that, in that rate increase? So that's what I'm saying, I was wanting to, instead of the amount they had, I wanted to increase it more than what we're talking about on those two
That would be
buildings.
up to- So that would fall under this rule. This is all about rate increase.
It's just, we're talking about rates.
Yep.
We got a motion and a second to increase the rate on the hangar renewal, okay? Any discussion? All right, Mr. Burris,
Aye.
Mr. Pope, Mr. Lucas,
Uh,
Mr. Barner,
Aye.
okay?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, excuse me, 'cause okay, I'm voting to do the rate increase, but the amount is I want to ask about changing the amount on the two buildings.
On those two, you're wanting to approve the rates that were listed, but you're wanting to change those two buildings
Right,
that are not aviation.
right.
No,
That's
yeah.
right.
They're in the increase too, ain't they?
But he
Yeah.
wants to
I
change the
want
amount.
to ask
Add
about
the-
changing, I want that.
Oh, you wanna add them to it?
No, want to change, they're already in it, they already
Yeah.
included, but just change the amount.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I don't know how we would have to navigate through that.
So the airport manager, has outlined in your packet new rental prices to begin on May the 1st.
Right.
Okay, so my understanding the vote just taken was to approve what he's outlined in your packet. If you would like to do something differently than that, then that's the direction staff needs from the commission.
Okay, all I was talking about was just on those two buildings. I don't have a problem with the other, the T hangers and the corporate, but I'm saying on the two buildings that's non-aeronautical use, do the rate increase, but change the amount that we're gonna do. on
I understand.
that. So I guess that's something that we could,
Okay. We need to vote on it then. All right, Mr. Burris?
okay,
All right, we're a little bit at a procedural issue here. My understanding is we just took a motion and a second, and then an all in favor, and everybody voted for the rate increase.
Right.
Now, if there was some misunderstanding where, a commissioner voted and was not understanding what we were voting on, then we can address that issue if we need to go back. Is that what we're desiring to do?
You only wanted to make the modification to the amount for the two
on those two buildings.
non-aircraft buildings.
That's
Right
fine.
now, they're $2,400 a year. So it'd be $200 a month. Is that what you're?
Okay, now, right now, it's 200.
No, it's 100 now.
100
It'll
now.
go up to 200 a month.
Okay, and I was talking about going to 300 on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's just, for what it's worth.
What about if the manager and the airport manager come back at our next meeting with a recommended amount?
On those
and then
two
we vote for those
buildings.
two
Okay.
buildings?
Okay. So we can leave those two off.
Okay.
And then
Right.
do it that way.
Just
Right,
call
that
it
was
the hangers
understanding.
then,
Can we ask
not the bill.
those that made the motion and the second to revise their motion to that effect? Which I believe was Commissioner Lucas and Commissioner Barnard.
I'll revise my motion, initially to leave those two out until the second meeting on that rate adjustment. Just the air hangers alone, not the two buildings that are not air hangers.
My second accepts the revision.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Now, is there any more discussion on it?
That's it.
All right, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas? Mr. Barnard?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Okay, let's go to the appointment of the Waycross, Ware County Land Bank Authority. We're gonna appoint,
I think we appointed Deborah Giddens, is that?
yeah, we need to vote.
Ed, you gonna accept it?
Got it?
Yes, yeah.
Got a motion. Did you make a motion on it, Jerry?
She got to accept it first, eh?
She will?
Yeah, she says she is.
I'll second it.
Okay.
So the person who serves is supposed to have, experience, I was just reading it, I've just lost it, I was just reading it, but it says in urban planning, community development, finance.
Deborah, could you come to the
He wants to
microphone?
come to you, Mike Johnson.
You just gotta know what a house looks like, that's all you need to know.
You own rental property, don't you, Miss Giddens, in Ware County?
Pardon me?
Don't you own rental property in Ware County?
Yes.
Okay, you qualify.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, if you say that I'm qualified,
You are.
like I said, because in urban planning and
Waycross, no.
development, several things, I'm not sure that I'd qualify, but I do have a rental
We'll
property.
get you qualified. You
I
just say yes.
think you'll enjoy, I, chaired that board for 4 years and I had to come off, but I think that'll be a good fit for you and, you'll learn a lot of stuff on that.
Pays good, you'll love it.
Okay.
The tax
Yeah, most
commission,
of- most of
the tax commissioner's an expert in all that, so he can help you out.
It says, as far as compensation, it says it's volunteer. Typically, that's the type of jobs I do, volunteer.
Roger, excuse me, is that,
Yes.
they meet every other month, is that what it is? I couldn't remember whether it's every month or every other month.
Just schedule every month.
Every month?
Yeah, there's,
All right.
I think there's 2 meetings that are mandatory during the course of the year that everybody has to attend, but it meet monthly.
Okay, cause I don't know why I was thinking it was like.
You didn't show up, dog.
You just didn't go, that's your fault.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Okay, let's vote on it.
But I thought it was something about they had to have a minimum, you have to have a minimum 4 meetings a year, I believe it is, something like that.
There's
All right.
mandatory, they have mandatory meetings. So there's 2 meetings that are mandatory that everybody has to attend.
Okay.
There's a minimum number of meetings they have to have throughout the year, but Waycross Works Land Bank, it meets once a month.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Giddens.
I'll make the motion to accept her acceptance to serve the land.
I'll second it.
We got a motion and a second. All right, let's vote on it. Mr. Burson?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Barner?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, let's do appointment for the Ware County Board of Assessors. And, let's see, who was that?
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion to accept the reappointments of Jacob Strickland and Bobby Wright for the Board of Assessors.
Okay. Got a second on that? Got a motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. For the board members, Bobby Wright and Jacob. Okay, let's vote on it. Mr. Burson?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Barner?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, county manager report.
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioners' comment.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to refer my comments to ask Jason to come up, and we don't see him at every meeting. Could you come up and give a kind of overview of what's going on?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Happy New Year, first of all. We've got a delegation going up to Atlanta tomorrow. The county, the city, and both development authorities, the chamber, and Board of Education, and both of our colleges are well represented. This is for the eggs and issues, which is the starting of the legislative session. We'll be going up there, and we're also going to be presenting to site selectors, project managers for the Georgia Department of Economic Development, Georgia Power, and Georgia EMC on Wednesday. So we've got a busy 2 days planned. We're gonna try to hit the road early in the morning before the storms come in, try to push through the storms, get up there and represent Waycross and Ware County well. As far as development, we've got a lot of activity taking place right now. Hopefully we're gonna have a couple more announcements coming very soon that I can be able to share, hopefully in the first quarter, beginning the second quarter of the year. But at this time, the biggest thing is just getting people to know that we're open for business and we are where they want to be.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the work you're doing, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Mr. Jackson, I appreciate you very much.
Jason, I'd like to ask you, is on the new building, the new project that's coming, do we have any new information on it or anything?
No, Mr. Chairman, we don't have any new information at this time. I do still stay in contact with them regularly. It has been a couple of weeks because of the holidays since I've spoken to them, but I hope to be able to be back in contact with them within the next week. But they're still in the design phase, as you're well aware, a facility of that size. They gotta make sure that they've got all their I's dotted, T's crossed before they go ahead and get the engineering firm to get the plans in place so they can start moving dirt. But as far as right now, everything is still on track. The state's still working on their side of things, so everything's still a go as far as we're concerned.
That's great. Good news. Okay, thank you. Scott, have we heard anything on the overpass, Albany Avenue?
Let's see, they have a coordination meeting, another coordination meeting coming up with CSX. I think it's this week. And they said that they would provide an update after they meet with them on the right-of-way issue and whether that road could be put in there and so forth. So they're gonna pass that on to them and see where we stand at that point. So hopefully I'll have an update for y'all in just a few days.
Maybe next month?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
And we will have it also too, speaking of overpasses, DOT has a status meeting, if you will, tomorrow afternoon. And we listen to it over the phone, Brandon and I, so we'll be able to provide an update there too for the US 1 overpass.
Okay, good. Anybody got anything else? Anybody? We got some roads here on these projects, roadway work, that we'd like to do with a local that we talked about. We got the Slash Pine Road, we got Cornelius Road, that the fellas wants to connect down there, and the McDonald Road, Gibbs Lane, and the Little John Road. We want to, in Banks Lane, and Banks Road and Banks Lane, and 1 mile of the Wadley Road. And we need to pave these with local money, with what we got. What y'all want to do about that?
Have we gotten a rough figure estimate on what it would be to do those?
No, well, they got some figures up here, but they must be gonna pave them with gold or something.
And you say one of them was Little John Road, you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, Pascal Road.
Okay. And from the McDonald Road, that'd be from the Blueberry Farm to Westboro, and Gibbs Lane over here, and the Cornelius Road down there where the farmers are. They always calling about that thing, so they ain't seen nothing happen on it. And we agreed to let's do something about it the last time in October, but nothing's moved on it yet. If we're not gonna pave any of these roads, we probably need to elect a whole new group of commissioners, I reckon. We're just gonna sit on the money. Ain't gonna pave no roads.
Brandon, can you come up to the mic, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, come on, Brandon, tell us about it.
I've got an estimate on the roads from the meeting we had the other day, and it's hard to know exactly about costs right now and projecting that out. So those numbers are a little high, as the chairman referenced. Looking back on how the road cost is going, it could be, there's some changes in our local makeup. So I don't know exactly how that's going to affect the price, Mr. Chairman. So that's the reason why those are a little higher than they've been on some of those other roads, because I don't know how these changes that have come about recently is going to affect prices going forward. So that was a little bit of trepidation with cutting those too low.
Did you find out anything about the Cornelius Road?
I don't think we have right of way out there.
We don't have no right of way?
No, sir. I think it's just prescriptive easement from what we've been able to find.
I would like for the commission to go ahead and do whatever we need to do to get Cornelius Road paved. That is a fair through for the two big farmers right there, and they pump lots of money in this county. I mean, it's not a quarter of a mile long, it's that far.
They do.
I think Cornelius is paved on each end.
It is.
And
Yeah.
we can't pave between start at each end where the pavement stops and do the middle, because from what I understand, I mean, they've been doing, land prep out there and flooding the road from their pond. I mean, it's just one big mess, and you can get paved, entrance to both of those facilities. But I'm in favor of doing that middle and be done with it, because some of it's already been paved.
How about the McDonald Road too, from, I think it ends somewhere about the Blueberry Farm on to Westboro. That piece of road needs paving bad. It's always washing it out. And there's a lot of traffic on that road.
It would probably be a similar situation on that road as well, Chairman. Prescriptive easement on that one, you think? Yes, sir.
You think they'd give the right of way to people would, don't we?
That would be,
we can get the right of way, all we got to do is pave it.
with a needed roadway like you're talking about, that would be up to those landowners. I don't know who would be affected by that
Don't
particular
matter,
road.
what we need to do is pave the road.
Yes, sir.
Don't, all these questions come up all the time. Pave the road. That's my look.
Right.
You gotta pave it.
Yes, sir.
Agree to pave it. And it should go. And all Brandon's gotta do is send out the letters and it'll go. And this Little John, he been here, I've been here 3 years. That man McCullough, he ain't got nothing done yet. When are we gonna get something done? Some of these roads, that Gibbs Lane over there, that's about the worst piece of road. The school buses run back through it, it's a cut through. And why it has not been paved, I do not understand.
Which one?
Gibbs Lane.
Thought that was going to be paved.
It's on the T-Splosh.
It's on the T-Splosh, that's 10 years down the road.
But we can't.
We got the money to pave that road if we pave it.
What about the bank situation? The Banks Road, Banks
Banks
Lane?
Lane and Banks Road, them two.
And,
We've agreed and everybody's
one-
talked about them and they need to get paved somehow or another. Are we gonna vote to pave them or what we gonna do? We need to try to put these on the agenda next time to be paved.
I agree with that, Mr. Chairman. I think we need to go ahead and move on some of these roads because it's just, we keep kicking the can down the road, so to speak, especially with the Little Johns and the bank situation off of Rowell when it hits Elma Thrift and goes all the way around to Slash Pine. And then I also got to bring up Torrey Circle. I mean, Torrey Circle's been on the books for years and had nothing been done on it yet. And the gentleman that owns the apartment where he leases out the apartment above, out there at the end of Torrey Circle, that canal, that's Ware County's canal. And he's afraid his block building's going to fall into the canal. We need to address it before things like that start happening.
Okay.
Can we get a prioritized list by the next meeting or whenever Brandon can come up with figures and set a priority rather than every meeting come up with the same conversation?
I've got this, the chairman just mentioned McDonald Road, Gibbs Lane, Cornelius Road, Pascal.
And, Wadley Road.
That's
These
on
are
the
the
list
ones
that's
are
the
the
list you got.
most called about. And I've asked the grader operators, which one of these is the worst roads? And he gave me a list of these. Said he gets called to these roads more than any road. And I think they need to be looked into. Because if we can do them, we need to do them. Let's have this list right here and let y'all look over it. Slash Pine, Banks Road, Banks Lane, the Wadley Road, Cornelius Road, McDonald Road, Gibbs Lane, and Little John.
Mm-hmm.
But why can't these roads be listed and let's do something about them? These, I would call them emergency. They need to do it. So, I'm gonna leave it at that, and let's get a list, let's look over them, and see what y'all think about it.
Yeah,
In the next meeting, if we can, we'll try to vote on it.
Yeah.
And I know, you've been pretty much an advocate, Chairman, about instead of full-blown, I guess, paving, if we had, what do you call it, surface treatment?
Surface treatment,
Surface
right, yeah.
treatment.
We,
And the dollars will go further, you know, but then I guess a certain thing we still got to try to comply with, I guess, you know, for lack of a better term, as far as when we do that. Is that right, Brandon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so, but, you know, I know that's an alternative, and I had never heard that, cause I'm used to when, say, paving, like in the city, talking about curb and gut and all that kind of stuff, but if we can do the surface treatment, cause a lot of people just wanna get out the mud, like Mr. Little John back there, you know, just, you know, they ain't got to have, all the whistles and the bells and all this kind of stuff, but they wanna get out the mud and want the road
That's
paved,
right.
you know.
But we still have to have drainage.
True.
Drainage and pavement go hand in hand.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm the chairman, a list, priority list, and a funding source. I mean, where's the money coming from? Because all of our other programs are obligated, so.
And we don't need to spend every penny we got
No,
in
we're
case
not.
that T-Splosh don't pay, regional
Yeah,
T-Splosh don't
exactly.
pass. We're gonna have money in the bank to keep the roads that we got up now.
And let's
Mr.
do it.
Chairman,
We've,
do you have starting and stopping points on those, or links?
yeah, we want a mile on the Wadley Road. The Cornelius Road, you tie it together.
Yes, sir.
The McDonald Road, it ties together.
What's the start and stop on that one?
It'd be, I guess they're about, was that the Blueberry Farm, was that Mixon, or it's sold out, but it goes on to Clough Bay.
Clough Bay?
Clough Bay back to the Blueberry Farm. Gibbs Lane goes from, what's that, Gibbs Street over to.
Gibbs Street over to,
Brunel, Gilmore, whatever that one is.
It goes from
It ain't but a
Gibbs
couple
Street
blocks.
to Gilmore.
Yeah, okay. And Little John, it goes from Smith Road around to, I guess, to Fuller property.
Have to stop at the cattle gap, right?
Yeah, to the cattle gap, as far as we can go. And, Banks Lane, they dead end, they come off of,
Is it my Banks Road?
Banks Road.
I've got all
yeah.
them, I've got
Yeah,
all
you
them.
got those.
Yeah, I've got all
Okay.
them on that list. The
Okay.
ones I didn't have was McDonald's. And,
We can come up, I'll get with you.
the rest of them might have got links on. McDonald's is the one I wasn't sure
Okay.
where it would start and stop.
And-
Right, are any of these roads talked about on the list that shows a number of residents on the roads?
I think we have that information.
Can you put those together?
Yes, sir.
That would make a difference too.
Now, what would you ask?
To me,
He's asking about how many houses and homes was on.
how many
on
residents,
the-
people live on the road?
Some of them not that many, but they through roads, there's a lot of traffic on that road, it cuts across. A lot of it is, like Gibbs Lane, there's probably more cars going down it and not that many houses. But the road is used a lot. Yeah, same way by McDonald, that going through there. There's a lot of traffic on that road.
Yes, sir.
And the Wadley Road, there's a lot of traffic on it too. All right? We'll make a list then and then I'll get with you.
I think we already had most of those.
Yeah.
The one I wasn't sure about was that McDonald's.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman.
We have the funding, don't we, Scott, that we
Yes, sir.
could do some of these roads already?
the largest pot of money we have right now is the regional T-Splosh, the discretionary fund. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We should be able to come up with some money to do some roads somewhere,
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
somewhere.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, and any more commission reports? Anybody else? If not, I hear a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.